It is 2024 and we are already in cyclone season. Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Theodosia. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, thank you for coming back. So, I want to talk about the cyclone season this year, and I want to talk about cyclone in Mauritius, basically. The cyclone season normally occurs from December to maybe April or March at best, and this happens every single year. So you may be wondering why we have cyclone seasons. Well, Mauritius is a tiny yet vibrant island nation in the Indian Ocean, known for its stunning white sandy beaches, lush hills, and dramatic landscapes. When it comes to size, Mauritius is about 2,000 kilometers off the southern eastern coast of Africa, so East Africa, making it a small island nation. The country is a diverse population of 1.6 million people as of 2022. It's actually over that right now. So we usually have the most severe storms in December, January, and February. Most times all year we usually have like the most severe ones, and it's actually surprising that I'm reading that have about 5 cyclone storms in a year, which obviously range from heavy storms, rainfall, and then the most one, which obviously includes heavy wind. The first time I came to Mauritius, I was like, oh, what's cyclone? What's a cyclone? What's a cyclone? The most common feature of a cyclone is the eye, a central region of clear skies, warm temperature, and low atmosphere pressure. Cyclones are formed over warm tropical oceans and can be classified into different categories based on their intensity, which we have class 1 to class 4. Cyclones are known for various names depending on the region that they form in. In the North Atlantic Ocean and in the East North Pacific, they are called hurricanes. In the Western North Pacific and around the Philippines, Japan, and China, they are referred to typhoons. In West, South Pacific, and Indian Ocean, they are called severe tropical cyclones or simply cyclones, which basically means that they are all the same type of storm, but the name is picked depending on the storm's location and regional dialects. Cyclone 1, basically, you usually have a lot of rainfall, you have a little bit of wind, but a lot of people still go out, and businesses still open, some schools still open, and people just go about their normal day-to-day activities. But then when you get into Cyclone 2, you have most or some businesses shutting down, schools also shut down, and so it's more rain and more wind. And by the time you get into Cyclone 3, I know there's also 4, by the time you get into Cyclone 3, everywhere is literally closed. By Cyclone 2, I know that some supermarkets close as well, if I'm not mistaken. 2 or 3, some supermarkets also close. Now, the first time I was in Mauritius and we were in cyclone period, I'm like, okay, they're saying it's a cyclone, but why am I not seeing anything happen outside my window? I wasn't prepared, basically. Now, the things you have to do to prepare for a cyclone is make sure you have enough food, make sure you have water. Sometimes your internet can go out, sometimes your light can also go out because of the heavy wind, so you need to make sure that you have electricity. So you need to make sure that you have at least some sort of maybe candle or flashlight. You need to make sure your phone is charged and data. And one thing that I would say is that cyclone doesn't last for one day, it spans over a couple of days, so you need to make sure that the food you're buying lasts you. There was a period in time where there was a particular year where there was cyclone, and I was like, oh, last year's one wasn't that serious, and I didn't get food, I didn't go to buy food, and at the end of the day there was cyclone, and it was in class 2 or class 3. Everywhere was closed. I was literally hungry for 2 days. There was no way I would get food or anything. into it. So you want to make sure you do that before it gets into Cyclone 2 or Cyclone 3 or 4. I think the last one was in entered a 4 because it was very, very windy. Now with cyclone periods, you have a lot of rain, you have a lot of wind, and with that it also damages, the environment. It also floods. I mean, because Mauritius is surrounded by water, right? There are some areas that the cyclone hits and affects more than other areas. Cars damages, houses damaging, trees are falling, the road is really messed up, which is why they will tell you when it gets to a 2 or a 3 or a 4, nobody is really allowed to go out.
Mauritius was battered by heavy rain Monday as intense tropical storm Freddy hit the country. Many businesses were forced to close and the Indian Ocean Archipelago's International Airport was shut. As of 10 p.m. local time, UTC+4, the Mauritius Meteorological Services said the cyclone had passed at its closest distance from the island at about 120 kilometers to the north of Grand Bay. The body had issued a Class 3 cyclone warning, level 3 out of 4, for Mauritius Island. Forecasts say Cyclone Freddy is expected to make landfall in central Madagascar Tuesday evening.
Mauritius grounded flights and shut its stock exchange on Monday as tropical cyclone Freddy approached the island. The storm, packing winds of up to 75 miles per hour, poses a direct threat to Mauritius, the island nation's weather service has said. It warned that a storm surge is likely to cause coastal inundation in risk areas.
The Indian Ocean island of Mauritius has been hit by severe floods. At least 10 people have been confirmed dead after over 150 millimeters of torrential rain lashed the low-lying capital of Port Louis in under 2 hours. Most of the victims were trapped in rapidly rising floodwaters in an underpass. Mauritius lies east of Madagascar and the Seychelles in the Indian Ocean. The small country is a tourism hotspot and popular exotic honeymoon destination, and has now seen over half the monthly average rain for March in just one day. Speaking on national radio, the Prime Minister Naveen Ramgoolam cited climate change as one of the key factors in the disaster. He declared 1st of April a national day of mourning.
So for every year we get the cyclones and they have different names, and we have very, very notable cyclones over the previous years, and it has actually impacted in the history of Mauritius. The first one was Freddy in 1979, Louis 1970. When I say Freddy, that one had like a lot of impact. People lost their lives. People actually lost a lot of property, houses, cars, and all of that. And I think it took a while for that to, for people to actually, get back. It's always something that they always say every year. The first year I came here, they also said, oh, in 19-something, the cyclone was really bad, and I was expecting it to be bad, and it wasn't bad, right? The next one, which was the last one, or the most recent one, which was like the most impactful cyclone, was Freddy, the Cyclone Freddy 2023. This was like the most severe cyclone that I have actually ever experienced, in terms of flooding, in terms of the wind, in terms of the impact that it came with. And mind you, the cyclone doesn't also hit only Mauritius. It hits Mauritius and the environs. So that would be Rodrigues, sometimes Reunion, sometimes Madagascar. You would also need to stay updated with the news and warnings. You just need to keep yourself updated with the warnings and the updates that they are putting out for the weather forecast for the cyclones, and then you get to know what area is being affected more than what area that is not being affected, and then you get to know what class of cyclone it is, when it's actually going to be called off. Actually, when the cyclone stops, it takes, I think, maybe the next day before they completely call it off, and that's in the event of a heavy flood, in the event of trees falling, damages, and all of those things. Those things will want to be cleared before they let people out per se. And then if there's flood, I don't see any reason why you would be in a rush, because literally nowhere is open. So you would want to stay updated, like with the latest bulletins that they put out for the weather forecast. I know the one that I do follow is Mighty Weather. They do send in notifications, so you would receive notifications on your phone. The other one is windy.com. You can also like just open the website and check what is happening, where it's hitting, the force and everything, just to basically know exactly what is going on. Yeah, the 2023 Freddy cyclone actually got to a cyclone 4, which I haven't actually experienced before, and I think that's why it was so severe and it caused a lot of damages. There was a lot of impact for that one. So hopefully this one doesn't have as much impact. But other things you need to also get, other safety kits you need to also get is medication as well. If you take medication on a day-to-day basis, you don't know how long the cyclone is actually going to last. And obviously if there's flood, you can't actually leave your house when the cyclone is over, because you have to wait for the flood to go down. Make sure you close your windows, make sure you close your doors, and basically just enjoy yourself indoors. Think of it like a mini lockdown basically. And the fact that this happens every year, whereas we have experts saying that cyclones usually should be hitting Mauritius every 5 years, but then again it hits every year. Well, that's a wrap, guys. This year's cyclone is promising to be it's starting off on a good note. Here like in the west and in Black River, but I know that in the coming days it's going to be, very, very terrible. Yeah, this year's cyclone 2024 is called Belal. Yes, Belal, for some reason, Belal. I don't know what's the reason behind giving the cyclone the names, but for some reason they usually have names every year. And this one is coming with a lot of wind, although it literally just started today. But in the coming days, we hope that, it's just going to pass. We're just going to, recoup from there and stay safe, guys. That's it, guys. That's a wrap. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys want more videos like this, do let me know in the comment section and I will be doing them. Let me know how your previous cyclones have been in Mauritius, if you have encountered any. Let me know the precautions that you guys have taken. And that's it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.